The lead in school drinking water reduction rule went into effect just under a year ago. Its goal is pretty straightforward: limit kids' exposure to lead at schools. But for schools across our state, following the rule could be a challenge. It's as clear as this water. A refreshing sip shouldn't come with a side of lead. And a statewide rule is aimed at making sure that that's the case at schools across Montana.
Children spend a large part of their childhood in schools and are more susceptible to lead exposure than adults.
The Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services, with the help of the State Department of Environmental Quality and the Office of Public Instruction, rolled out the lead reduction in schools drinking water rule at the beginning of this year. All schools under the OPI have to test water from every fixture that students could possibly drink from, and that can be a lot of fixtures.
Especially in elementary schools where you have a sink that you could possibly get drinking water from and a drinking fountain. So you could have, conceivably 2 fixtures for every classroom, plus your restrooms, plus your kitchens.
Fixtures have to come back with less than 5 parts per billion of lead to be usable. But getting to that usable level?
It's challenging, to say the least.
So far, Kalispell is one of the only districts that have submitted lead results. All of the 5 schools sampled so far have fixtures with elevated levels of lead. Just take a look at Elrod Elementary. Of the 57 fixtures sampled, 43 exceed the state action level of lead content. Of those 43, water from 16 fixtures tested in the state-designated highest category, meaning that those fixtures must be replaced immediately.
We have drinking fountains in our hallways that are water is completely disconnected. They're, not just shut off, but cut the line to the water.
And that could be the case at schools across the state.
We are expecting to see probably higher lead concentrations in the older buildings and less so in some of the newer schools.
Lead can seep into water from plumbing and fixtures, especially older plumbing and fixtures. And Montana has a lot of older schools. According to the American Society of Civil Engineers, the average age of a school facility in the state of Montana is 53 years old.
At the end of the day, the districts are going to be liable to go in and replace fixtures, redo plumbing.
And that won't be cheap. Right now, Kalispell Public Schools installed filters on fixtures that showed elevated levels of lead. Now, those filters work, but at $50 a pop, not counting the cost of replacements, they aren't a long-term solution. What is a long-term solution is new plumbing and fixtures. The OPI and DEQ have a remediation grant program that provides up to $1,000 per school, but Hill says work that needs to be done across the district could cost millions. A high price to pay, but to Hill, the choice is clear.
We owe it to our kids to make sure that we're providing the best possible infrastructure for them to be able to learn and grow.
Now, according to state records, only 8 schools have submitted lead samples so far, and schools must test their water by December 31st, 2021.